Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Ryan, and we are back with more Unreal World today, continuing our Pacifist challenge with John the Farmer. Here he is, and we are very far from home. That's right, John's beloved garden and crop field are north of us, pretty good distance. In fact, if we zoom in a little bit, we are this tiny little red dot over here to the left, and our main camp is all the way up here. But not to worry, we made this trek for a very important reason, and that was so we could come and trade for a knife. And we got the knife. So if you've missed the series up to this point, or if you're new just tuning in, there's a link to the full playlist down in the description. But essentially we needed this knife to make a raft. And the rough knife and the stone knife that I'm carrying, those are not good enough quality to construct a raft. So we're in a rush trying to get back there so we can get that raft made and then ultimately dip our nets into the water. So like I said, it's a long explanation for a real major problem we've got going on. Basically, survival. That's what we're trying to do, and we're trying to do it without hunting or killing any animals, of course, other than fish. I would have gone strictly for a vegetarian challenge, but that's simply not possible in the Unreal world. I mean, maybe later on down the road, once we start getting access to tons of grain and stuff, we can make breads and different recipes we can do. We can shift away from fish, but starting off the game, you have to have some sort of protein and fat in your diet to survive. But of course, the food is just one side of the survival. Staying warm is the other side. So on the way back home, we had to stop off here and set up a little fire, just because unfortunately John's not really outfitted very well. I tell you, I was thinking about it, and we had a pretty unlucky start in terms of our gear. We started with the rough knife, which is just terrible quality. We only had 3 pieces of clothing, one of which we've already traded away. So it was a challenge, no doubt about it, but that's okay. That's what we're here for, is to face that challenge. So let's get him to warm up a little bit, and then we're going to jump back out to the world map and make that dangerous trek home. And we are out here on the world map now. As I said, this is a very dangerous part of the journey, just because every square that we move out here on the larger map, time passes much more quickly than if we were zoomed in on what's called the local terrain map where we just came from. So in other words, our hunger and starvation can catch up quicker, and more importantly, the warmth. Our warmth can drop a lot quicker too, so you got to be real careful about that. But it's actually not that far. When we look at it on our little map here, it's kind of deceptive how far that seems, but we are zoomed in quite a bit. So, if I zoom out, you see that the relative distance between these two places is not that big compared to the overall map, but still a trek, like I say, especially when you're so under-geared like John is here. But I don't know, maybe he just likes running free, He wants to be as contained as little as possible, and that means clothing too, apparently. After stopping once or twice to warm up, we've reached the very first shelter that we ever crafted right here to our left, or just above our character, but this is not our final destination. In fact, there's not really much there anymore except the shelter itself and a little bit of lumber for fires. I was able to wait and retrieve all the fish there before we did our trade. So this spot, oh, it's just up here. I was about to go to the village there to the south. This right here is our main shelter now, pretty much. Number one, it is very close to that village to the south, which is helpful, being close to civilization like that for multiple reasons. But also, we're seated right next to some rapids here. It's kind of hard to see when it's not frozen with ice, the river, but right here at this one little spot, you see a little motion there. That area will remain unfrozen totally year-round, so that's why it's great to have a spot next. In fact, I think our final home, where we build our cabin and stuff, will be at a place very similar to this, next to rapids. I don't know, maybe it will be this location, but I've often said before in previous series, games like this, open-ended world survival games, you really want to find a place that you like, that's got a unique geographical feature, just something about it that really appeals to you. That way you'll want to keep coming back and improving it and playing more and more over time, instead of just settling for somewhere that is kind of mediocre mediocre, but in the back of your mind you're thinking, oh, there's probably somewhere cooler out there, like a cave next to a river, whatever you want. But regardless, we have made it. So our trek hopefully was not in vain, because we're still not 100% sure if this little knife right here is going to do the trick. But let him go ahead and get rested, get warm, and we're going to give it a try. Okay, well, I'm going to drop the rough knife and the stone knife now. We don't need any of those. And I've moved the logs here right next to the fire, so we should warm up as we work on this. Hopefully, if the knife is capable, we'll see. Of course, the problem we had earlier was that the stone knife and that rough knife or whatever, they just weren't good enough quality to do the task. Alright, so we need the cordage. We know that works. Alright, looks good so far. Here it is, moment of truth. Oh no. It says the knife is very unhandy tool here. Oh, that's terrible news. Hold on, let's try these. We have multiple knives, maybe? I don't know if that'll help, but it's worth trying. I was worried about this. We traded so much fish away for this. Alright, cordage. There we go. Dang it. Now it says the knife is unhandy. No way. Let's try just the stone knife. So I'll drop those a couple of spaces away. And there we go. Dang it. Nope, not working. See, it just says it takes far too long to accomplish the task. So with that, I don't know. I mean, I guess a better quality knife, maybe a larger knife would work. God, that is such a bummer. Maybe if I used better quality cordage, that might affect it too. I don't know. Well, let me keep trying some different stuff. We'll see. Maybe ultimately I will take off my leather boots and use some, like a leather rope from that. I really hesitate to do that, but we might have no choice. Oh my god, guys, it's working. Look at this. We're actually using the stone knife right now. I just went ahead and rested. I was like, well, I'm a little bit tired. We weren't fatigued, but it seems like resting did the trick. Oh, this is a long process, too. Look at this. Over 8 hours, over 9 hours now. We're going to be very hungry. Oh, there it is. We've done it. We've constructed a poor raft. Yes, it's very poor quality, but I don't care. As long as it floats, that's what matters. Oh my gosh, so let's go ahead and eat. Oh no, never mind. We don't have any food. I ate the last of my fish. Okay, well, that's okay. That's why we constructed the raft. So what I will do is let's just go to the lakeshore and take a big drink of fresh, clean lake water. Now, we are tired, and I need to rest just a bit more, but I'm not going to sleep yet. No. We are going to test out this raft. So let's grab the net and the cesta. Of course, we need the cesta to basically push off the raft with and to steer it in the shallows. So, as I recall, we want to just move the raft here to the lake shore. Shouldn't be too long of a trip. Okay, I could have probably made it right next to the lake shore if I had a little bit more forethought, but doing it next to the shelter is acceptable too. Alright, here we are. So now you don't have to haul it. We can just push right off into the water. Look at that. Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, now you can't use it to move there. The water is too deep. Okay. Okay, we can go that far. So here comes the second question. Can we place our net here? Is this deep enough for the net? Yes. Okay. We've done it. We've got permanent access to the river and a net. Oh, that is huge, because we've in fact caught some serious hauls with that net. Even in this series alone, just one net, I think it roped us like 20 pounds of fish at some point. I can't remember exactly how much, but we had a really nice haul, so that is huge. That is so good. Yeah. Anyway, so we have succeeded. My guy is dead tired. It's time for some sleep. And, of course, we can't count on that net producing right away. We've got to give it a couple of days to just sit. So I think we're going to do some active fishing here with our spear, or with our javelin. Oh, check this out. So I was just going to go to the lake's edge or the river's edge and do some fishing, but I decided to check the dried fish, and we've got 2 that are ready to go. So let's pick these up. I'll just pick it all up. Very good. Okay, I'm going to drop the cordage real quick. Now, initially, I had started drying all this food so that we could trade it away for tools and stuff, but I have to eat this. We're definitely going to be eating this. Okay, good. I will try and save as much of this dried fish that's right here as I can. Like I say, we got to get some trade. We need more nets. I need that axe I've mentioned several times. Of course, clothing. So we need tons of stuff to trade. And I honestly think that fish is going to be our primary trading resource until the crops come up. Now, someone has mentioned in the comments that I could make fox paw traps once I get an axe, of course. That is a standard trading item. If you're unfamiliar with that, that's a trap. So you would come to option 7. Oh, I'm not sure what I called it. It's called a paw board fox trap. And we use one board and a knife. I think it's a very simple recipe. Fairly quick to make, and it carries the value, I don't know, roughly of like 3 to 5 arrows, kind of, roughly, unless it's been changed. So it's a decent trading thing, but I was thinking about it. Would John, the pacifist, make traps just to sell them? Obviously, he would never use traps. You know, we don't trap, we don't kill anything except fish. So I'm thinking he probably wouldn't also trade or manufacture traps for killing animals either. That's kind of against his nature. So although it is a good suggestion, something I would normally do in any other series, we're not going to be doing it for this one. We will have to find some other trading resource. And like I say, fish and eventually our crops will be a big part of that. And any other crafts that we can make, maybe bowls or cups or shovels, that would be acceptable. I would also accept things like axes too, because an axe is technically a tool, even though it can be used for combat. But swords are a no-go. Sword is one of those things that's strictly for combat too. You know, also bows and arrows, we'll probably avoid that because those are strictly for killing as well, even if it's animals or humans, doesn't matter. So just a little overview of what we're looking at. Like I said, it's a challenge, but that's what we're going for here in this series. Gotta be honest, guys, I'm a little bit worried about this garden right here. Not everything has come up yet. I'm seeing some stuff. The barleys are up and the hemp is up. But some of these didn't sprout yet. There's the rye patch. I don't know. I'll just give it time. I've been worried that a rabbit or maybe some of these birds that are flying through ate the seeds before they had a chance to sprout. You can see this one a little bit deeper in the woods is perfectly fine. All 9 of those patches of hemp have come up. I'm thinking about expanding it too. I want to do, maybe up here is a good spot. Yeah, there's a nice little open area right here. Oh yeah. Like I said, this isn't probably not going to be our final destination, but it's a really good spot right now. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe I'll fall in love with it at some point. But, all right, so the hard part, of course, without having an axe is we can't use firewood. I'm pretty much stuck cutting down these small, slender trees. Yeah, or the small trees, turning them into slender trunks, and then just using that. Now, I have been doing 2 slender trunks. Maybe we'll just go with 1, though. Let's try 1 and some of the, what's it called? The twigs or whatever. Oh, you know what? I just had another idea. Let's push this slender trunk. All right. Now I'm going to push it onto the tree. I'm also going to push... Oh, hold on here. Maybe we can light this whole tree on fire. I think we can. Let's do this. Because it's kind of in my way. See, if I could get rid of these 2 trees here, that would be a big deal. I don't honestly know if that fire's going to burn down the tree, though. It might not be big enough, but either way, you can see it's a work in progress. So let me see what I can do, clearing us a little bit more land. Well, the tree hasn't burned down yet, but man, oh man, lighting all these fires at night like this really is glaring. That's crazy just how bright that is. Wow, usually I do this in the day and the amplitude of the light isn't so high. Either way, I'm a little nervous. There's a lot of birds flying around here. I don't want them to start eating my crops. I will have to start making some trap fences, I think. Now, don't worry. those trap fences don't kill animals. They should just prevent at least ground animals, some ground animals. But I think most of the animals that can get over a fence are carnivore types, probably won't want our food. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking there. But either way, speaking of wishful thinking, I can't resist it anymore. We've got to come out here and try our net. Here it is. Come on, we need it. We need it. We need it. Oh, no fish. Damn it. I knew I was trying it too soon. That's okay. All we got to do is put it right back out there. No big deal. We're not risking falling in the ice now, so I don't mind. We'll check it every day if we want. Delicious dried trout. Oh, man, it's good. Unfortunately, I am being forced to eat more and more of the dried fish as it becomes ready, so I want to avoid that. Let's go ahead and hit up this net. It has been a few days since the last time we checked it. I've been working on crafting, trying to figure out what I can craft so we can trade stuff away. I'll show you what I came up with. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's just grab this real quick. Oh, we got a salmon. Oh, man. That's huge. 8.8 pounds. Whoa. Speaking of big, look how big our raft is. 1,200 pounds. Either way, that's huge. Okay, so let's throw the net back in the water. Get back to shore. Honestly, now I'm tempted to just dry this fish. Let's see. No, I'll tell you what. We'll roast it. And the dried fish that I do have right now, we'll go ahead and save those. I'll start stockpiling the dried fish in the shelter here because, as I mentioned, that's supposed to be for trading stuff away. But anyway, so you might have noticed I've got some birch bark in my inventory here. I've been stripping that from trees and extracting fiber from it, and in order to make bandages. So there's an option to make bark bandages. Normally you make bandages out of cloth, but this is part of the mod options, I'm pretty sure. And so it's a more primitive form, although I don't know, maybe it's got some antiseptic properties which make it more valuable. Not too sure. And I also have no idea if it's going to trade. Since it's crude, it's probably not going to trade at all. But if I keep practicing with these, maybe we can, improve that and make some good ones. Let's just go through the process real quick. So it's here under utility articles. There it is, bark bandage. And I just have to use some of the poor fibers that I've extracted. 2 pounds of water. Oops, that's right. I need to be next to the water here. And let's also stand next to the fire. There we go. All right. And it doesn't take long, so I don't have to worry about the salmon burning or anything. No, it's got a few more hours. So, well, we made 2 crude ones. So, like I say, that quality, they might not want it. But then again, I don't know if it's got some value to it. Maybe they will. It's all just a test. We'll bring it with us next time we go to the village, though. Well, good news and bad news here. The bad news is that the previous amount of wood I had was not enough to warm up the ground, so I had to redo it, but we're looking at a little 3x3 here. Probably going to plant more hemp, but then again, maybe I'll do some food stuff too. Again, the food isn't that critical right away. We're going to have to subsist on fish. Now, with that being said, I have started to get more and more of the dried stuff, and like I said, I'm saving it, so it's all being piled up right here. It's going to be going towards our axe and a few other things right there. We got a nice tasty dried pike. That'll sell for quite a bit. But I think it's time to check the traps again. Or I'm sorry, the net. Yes, we're not using traps. Come on, give me something. Oh, no fish. Yeah, that one I probably should have waited another day or so, but not a big deal, not a big deal. Like I said, we can always check again. It has started to get a lot colder, I should say. In fact, I came through this little garden area, and I was just going to plant some hemp in these patches where nothing has started to sprout, but now it's telling me that it's too cold. Yeah, the ground is too frosty to plant anything, so I don't know if that means we need to relight the fire, but it is currently snowing, so I'm just going to kind of kill a little bit of time until I can get this thing planted, this little patch here. And then I was thinking we might start to zoom out to the world map, especially if it gets a little bit warmer. That'll help us pass time a little quicker while we wait for our net. And it'll also give us an opportunity to look for two different things. Well, let's just jump out there right now. So I'm looking for other areas that we might want to settle near this river, on the rapids, or other rivers, whatever. So we're looking for like our final home destination, but I'm also looking for a mountain for a very specific reason. If we come to our crafting menu, you can see down here part of the mod set that we've got allows us to do our own mining and blacksmithing. So one of the areas we can get ore from is a mountain. So I definitely want to try that. That's the one I'm most familiar with. I don't know. We might be able to get some from a lake, but mountain ore is the most reliable, at least in my experience, so it's easy to find it as long as we find a mountain nearby. So if we can get some ore, then we can start the long process of doing our own forging and stuff, which will be amazing. We won't have to rely so much on trading, and we can come totally self-sufficient. Honestly, with the mod setup that we've got, you can basically craft everything from scratch, you know, starting with a wooden shovel. You can do it all, so it's pretty sweet. And like I said, that'll remove the need for us to trade away all our fish and stuff, and we can kind of just focus on homesteading. But anyway, guys, we've got a lot to look forward to in the series, a lot of work to do still, of course, just like any good farmer. Day is never done. So I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. Of course, your comments are always welcome. I love hearing from you guys. Hit that like button for me too, and subscribe to the channel if you are not, and I will see you all on the next one. Hey everyone, I just want to give a personal thank you to my Patreon supporters. Their contributions help make my work possible, and I am tremendously grateful to them. I'd also like to extend an invitation to you to help support my work on Patreon as well. Your donations allow me to upgrade my PC and avoid the dreaded hardware despair. It also gives me more time to devote to new projects and create longer content such as live streaming. No matter what you decide, thank you for visiting my channel.